Yo, what's good everyone, Brothers Extreme here. I just want to say thank you for tuning into this video. If you want more content like this, make sure you subscribe, like this video, and hit the notification bell to never miss a video like this ever again. And let's hit 1,200 subscribers by February. Anyway, let's get started. Starting with the low tiers, Black Widow, Hawkeye, and Black Panther can easily reach the small building level ranges. This is quite consistent within the movies. You could also probably scale them to a weaker Iron Man and American Chavez who have multi-city block levels of power, but you would need to prove that they scale to them. As I said before, they could probably scale to a weaker version of Iron Man, specifically from Iron Man 2, who tanked this level of explosions, which is multi-city block level, as well as the small town to large level town shockwave. This would also make it more consistent as well. Iron Man's first ever suits can generate 8 to 10 gigajoules a second, which wouldn't be large building level, but can easily get upscaled years later, which you could probably get to the town level ranges, so they're already slamming the shit out of this verse. As for speed, they should easily be around the hypersonic ranges, and even scale to Captain America, who can move faster than a millisecond, and physically Wanda, who is also hypersonic plus, but you can probably argue they're slower via Quicksilver being able to perception speed blitz them. People bring up that Quicksilver's MFTL because you perceive light in slow-mo. However, this gets contradicted as he wasn't even the speed of light yet. Even people like Ant-Man is able to harm people like Falcon and even overpower people like War Machine. So as a lowball, they should scale to around small town level and massively hypersonic plus. Before we get to the mid tiers, I would like to address some debunks I have everyone just in case they don't rat this out. People like to argue that Hawkeye and Black Widow dodge light speed blasts, but paying attention to it, they're not actually dodging, but rather just perfectly timing when the laser will hit. Since they're already moving, this would count as an aim dodge. Same thing applies here, but she's just positioning her body to a different angle just so she doesn't get hit. Again, another aim dodge. Now we can move on to the mid tiers. Older suits of Iron Man are able to produce city level ranges of blasts or 200 petawatts, and just going by the upgrades he has over the years, you could get this to a large island level. Making this consistent, in Thor Ragnarok, Thor is able to destroy Asgard, which was calculated to around large country level. Even a pre-awakened Thor was able to destroy the Ice Cross Bridge, which was 1,000 times bigger than the Grand Canyon, which would be multi-continental. And the funny thing is that we barely scratched the surface of the mid tiers. Thanos with the Space Stone, which isn't even his most powerful stone, is able to absolutely destroy Titan's moon, which was calculated to the multi-continental ranges. Getting Thanos even higher, Thanos should casually be above Loki in terms of AP, the same Loki being able to be stated to destroy the Ice Frost planet, which was calculated to small planetary. Cole Obsidian is able to outmatch the Hulkbuster easily, with this Hulkbuster being stronger than Iron Man's old suits, which you could get to large island level plus easily. Tom Holland Spider-Man should also scale above this since he caught an attack from him. Even a base Thanos without using the Power Stone is able to absolutely humiliate Hulk in a fight. For speed, Hela is able to block Thor's lightning, which when calculated gets it to the massively hypersonic plus ranges. Tom's even able to dodge Electro's blast, which would be around massively hypersonic plus to relativistic. Now, people may bring up Captain Marvel being able to intercept Kree's missiles, which would be around sub-relativistic. However, she's not really intercepting it with her sheer speed, but rather just applying force in order to projectile the aim towards the other missiles. So it really wouldn't be combat reaction speed and just pure push and strength. Speaking of Captain Marvel, she has consistent massively hypersonic travel speed feats in the end game. Now, people might bring up this outlier of her getting to massively faster than light plus, however, that is massively inconsistent with her speed though. Getting to the final speed feat, Captain America is able to block lasers from Ultron, which was verbatim stated to be light speed attack blasts. So overall, I would have the mid tiers of the MCU getting to multi-continental with relativistic speeds. To make this video a little bit longer, I'm just going to be going over some debunks and counterclaims for you guys to use in debates. People might try to bring up the feat where Spider-Man was able to stop Cole Obsidian's punches, and he's relative to Hulkbuster. However, when looking at him, he's clearly shown to be broken and weakened. Not only that, but that's not even the same Cole Obsidian in that scene as the first Cole Obsidian that Tom faced was stuck in the Arctic. And to make things even worse for you guys, that Cole Obsidian literally died to an explosion that was calculated to not even multi-city block. Now, before you guys say, oh, but that doesn't matter, that would just be appealing to association fallacy on the spot, which I'm pulling up the definition here real quick. Now, to counterclaim this, you can say that Cole is able to still overpower Iron Man, who has multiple advancements from his last suits. The fact that he's still able to even harm Iron Man makes it even more impressive. A debunk you can just say is that Iron Man wasn't even trying against Cold Obsidian because he was saving his nanotechnology for Thanos. However, you can say that he had enough nanotechnology to last him throughout the fight. Now, a way to counterclaim this is to say that Iron Man was literally knocked down by Cold Obsidian. Granted, it was off-guarded, but it doesn't downscale his durability at all, which Tom overpowered, but then you could downscale into a small building via Ant-Man, but you could just say it's an upscale. Do whatever you want with those arguments. People might try to bring up the statement that the Hulk is the strongest Avenger. However, this gets contradicted throughout the entire series since Thor was able to overpower him when awakened. And the only way that's even applicable is if we're used in pre-2017 MCU. People try to bring up the Icarus small country level feat. However, this isn't really applicable to his AP at all, and rather just his kinetic energy via Newton's second law, my bad. So that really wouldn't scale to his physical striking strength AP. Now we're going to go on to the high tiers. This includes Thanos, Captain Marvel, and even Doctor Strange, and possibly the Phoenix Force. Now, I already pulled up the feat with the Power Stone, showing it was able to pull Titan's moon, which will be calculated to around multi-continental to moon level. But the Power Stone in on itself was able to destroy an entire planet, destroying the entire civilization in just a span of 7 seconds, which when calculated would be around the multi-continental to brown star ranges to the large planetary and small star ranges. Making the planetary range more consistent, the Phoenix Force was able to destroy this entire planet in just a span of a couple of seconds, which was calculated to around the small planetary ranges. Thanos, right after using the Power Stone and getting projectile deflected by Doctor Strange, was able to create a massive black hole with the Space Stone, which was calculated to around the large star level ranges. Within the same movie, Thor was able to take the full power of a neutron star with a span of over 48 seconds, I'm pretty sure, which was calculated to around the large star level ranges of power. Making the star level range more consistent, Captain Marvel was able to restore Halia's sun, I'm pretty sure that's how it's called, in just a span of over 14 seconds, which was calculated to around the star level ranges of power, or small star level ranges. Ronan, who is heavily below Thanos, can easily take blasts that could destroy moons, or just shatter them completely, so this will get him to around the multi-continental to Dwarf star level ranges of power. Making the planetary range more consistent, Ego can easily expand himself to a large planetary level degree. Kang is no joke either, considering that he can easily destroy planets, making him planetary on spot. Now, since there aren't really that many speed feats for these characters, I'm just going to be going into the debunks of them. The feat of Captain Marvel being able to restore Hala's sun is not applicable to her striking string whatsoever because, for one, she literally used force times acceleration to do this. Not only has this been recalced, but this would objectively fall into the definition of Newton's second law, like I mentioned before, which is mass times acceleration, which is objectively not the same as your striking strength. People also may bring up the argument that the Phoenix Force can bring life to the universe. However, it could be interpreted as a hacks feat, and life to your universe can just be in context for animals, plants, humans, etc. And this should be consistent because the Celestials were actually the ones that actually created the building blocks of the universe. People like to bring up that the Power Stone is high uni being unlimited in power. However, it verbatim says the Power Stone gives the user enhanced power, not unlimited. People also like to use this argument to be at high uni, however, unlimited does not always mean infinite. It could just be something immense and vast. And this could be consistent considering that in the official Marvel site, it verbatim says with all the Infinity Stones, it grants him immense power. Not to mention, Adam Bright literally debunked that claim, saying that the stones are pushed to their limits, so it actually wouldn't be unlimited. The next feat people try to argue is that Iron Man would scale to the supernova that the Armada of Chitauri was entering. However, when we actually see the clip itself, it's not really a supernova and rather just an opening space. And in order for a supernova to be a supernova, it has to have the properties of one as well. The last tier we're going to be talking about is the God tiers. Now, the God tiers on Marvel will be the people that scale to the entire universe, space-time continuum, etc. This will include people like the Celestials, Strange, and especially Thanos. Starting off with the creators of the Earth 1999 universe, Celestials are easily able to create stars with their bare hands, which would be calculated to around solar system level, and even create entire galaxies with their known hands as well, stretching them, pulling them, and even just staying placed like it's nothing and being unbound by it fully. With these feats getting up to multi-galaxy level consistently to universal and massively faster than light plus. Celestials have also created supernovas, Big Bang explosions, and suns as well. It's even verbatim stated that the Celestials have the custom building blocks to the entire life across the cosmos, which will just be in context for the universe as well. Thanos will most likely upscale this via him being verbatim stated to be the most powerful being in the universe. However, judging by the context of this is only praising him and just hyperbolically speaking. People will sometimes rat this statement to be universal. However, this would just be an overtime V. Considering his entire narrative to take one planet down by another. People like to argue that the time zone is fourth dimensional via it breaking the space-time continuum. However, it can be argued to but the Malekith being able to destroy everything is just in context for an overtime fee, as it just slowly spreads all over everywhere, so it really wouldn't scale to like everything, it would just be overtime. Strange would be able to upscale from Dormammu, who exists in a timeless dark dimension, and even is beyond human comprehension and transcends the dimension that can transcend human understandings of physics and even abstract concepts like free-floating shapes, etc. Yada yada yada. With it being verbatim statement for Dormammu to have an limitless amount of power and existing in a different dimensional world and realm. With him also being stated to have other dimensional amount of violence. Alright, now we're gonna go over the debunks. With there even being a verbatim statement of there being an infinite amount of universes.
It's a prison of endless possibility.
The first debunk we're going to get into is the dark dimension being able to just transcend abstract concepts, which people will get it to outerversal. However, when you actually look at the examples it gives, it mentions free-floating shapes, which means it's not really referring to abstract concepts. And it also says this word, faisagerele, I don't know. But the definition of it basically means this. So definitionally, this would just be appealing to subjective concepts, hence it wouldn't be outversal. The next argument people like to use is the model being able to destroy countless amount of dimensions. However, not only does countless not mean infinite, but it could just literally mean something that is very many or just very vast. But the fact that it also says that Dormammu consumed these countless dimensions would not be in context for spatial dimensions, since higher dimensions don't get consumed. And this would just be widely inconsistent for Marvel itself, as the most commonly used term for dimensions would just be universes on the spot. So no, this does not make him high hyperversal at all, and it would only make him like multiversal plus at a very high ball. The next argument people like to rat is a statement from Ryan Birding, an artist of the MCU, stating that Dormammu is an 11-dimensional being. However, this would just be an appeal to authority on the spot, since this guy is just an artist, not the actual writers or author or creators of the entire movie. Not only that, but it's in context for just an art style, which would just be in context hyperbolically for just saying a higher dimensional being. So he's an 11-dimensional. People also like to use the statement getting into 11-dimensional as well. However, exactly just like with the last debunk, it's literally a statement from Ryan Birding, which is literally not an author or writer, but just rather just an artist. And it's in context for a visual effects design. So again, this would just be hyperbolic and only in context for how good the art is. Like, let's just say someone said your art is out of this world. It doesn't really mean out of this world, but it just means it's that good. Dimensions in Marvel have been commonly terminalized as universes. So to say that's in context for a higher dimension is inconsistent. The most commonly used argument to get MCU past 5 dimensional is the statement from Andrew Garfield stating that string theory exists in the verse. This would just be another appeal to authority because Andrew Garfield is not really that reliable when it comes to dimensional physics. And he mentions multi-dimensional reality, which is not the same way as string theory works in our real world. So if we're going to use the tiering system for this, make sure it's actually objective and accurate to actual 11-dimensional theories, which is what the tiering system is based on. So no, this is not in context for string theory at all, and rather just a multiversal theory. Overall, I would have the God tiers at 4 to 5D with MFTL plus 2 immeasurable speed. Now, the one who scales to the entire cosmology is God of Stories Loki, as is shown verbatim in Season 2 that he's able to grab a hold of these timelines physically and just alter it and gain the power to restore it back together again. There's nothing else to explain here, so I'm just gonna let this scene play out. The one who scales above the entire cosmology and even God of Stories Loki is unironically Stan Lee, as it is verbatim stated that he's above and apart from all the realities of all the films. They even go and expand on that idea by bringing up Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and how he was just sitting on a cosmic pit talking to the Watchers. Yes, this is actual evidence. This is actual. This is for real. So this would just make Stan Lee in the fictional verse about 6-dimensional. And that is all for the MCU scale, guys. I really hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down what other character you want me to scale next, or versus to debunk or scale. And if anyone tries debunking that, they're just literally going to be trying to debunk in verbatim evidence and just objective calculations. This is unironically one of the most powerful live action verses I've ever seen. Now, aside from power scaling, I'm actually going to be doing some voice acting and voiceovering sometime, so be aware of that. Now, for future scales, I'm going to be actually going over the Crow, or Eric Draven, if you guys might know, and how strong he is in terms of like composite form. And I might tell you for street tier, he's pretty busted, just to say the least. But again, that is for another time. I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.